was 21 years old. In 1987, I was convicted of murder.
2 counts of intoxicated assault.
I was facing life. I'm doing life now.
I've been here since I was 19.
I came in as a juvenile when I was 17 years old.
I went to prison, got out, went back to prison, got out and went back to prison. I have a different perspective on life, experiencing what prison fellowship has offered.
It has taught me that there's a better way of life.
There's a life for me now, and it's the program.
Prison fellowship was born out of a scandal.
Those people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook.
For me, going to prison was a shock. It's very dehumanizing, and I felt shame.
And while it was the most difficult experience of my life, I can stand here tonight and honestly say to you that I thank God for it, because in prison, I truly found freedom.
Prison Fellowship advocates for restorative justice policies. We've earned bipartisan support.
Changing the culture in the prisons will change the culture in our cities and our states.
And since I've been incarcerated, I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I've changed for the better. I'm really grateful for Prison Fellowship.
Prison Fellowship does Angel Tree every year for our kids at Christmas.
Our congregation adopt angels and buy gifts on behalf of the prisoner that is incarcerated for their children.
Thanks to Angel Tree, I'm able to spend time with Dad.
Y'all the best. We love y'all. We miss y'all.
You are the best.
A child is a victim that we don't often think about. Angel Tree is there to try to bring attention to those children that get left behind suddenly.
I think it's an awesome thing that Angel Tree is able to make this happen.
I think that's awesome to just show you how God can take something that was bad and transform it into something good.
I entered prison when I was 17. I was young, I was confused, I was still gangbanging. I came to realize that all that was fake. So I got out, I applied all the principles that I was taught. They gave me the opportunity just to find who I am and be me.
I found out how much God really loves me. I found true peace. All the volunteers come out here and show us that love and that warmth, God's goodness, how He can use a place like this in prison, but yet be free.
I am a volunteer here.
You're a volunteer here.
I've been volunteering here for approximately 5 years now.
What it means to me, a way to make life a little bit better in the world.
We need that outside love. You know, we really feel it.
Just having you guys come and feeling that joy and that unconditional love, and the fact that you guys are treating us like humans, it's really the difference between life and death sometimes emotionally, because of the isolation feels.
Just the people and the love that I've been shown here has been wonderful.
On December 28, 2011, I was sentenced to 2-year state jail. I was pregnant when I got sentenced to 2 years. I am restorative justice. I'm going to accomplish great things for myself and my 3 children.
What society threw away and said was a criminal. There's no good, lying, cheating, drug dealing, pistol packing, killer. Jesus has wiped me clean and said, look at what God can do.
Changed my husband into a better man, better husband, better father.
And I just want to say thank you, brothers and sisters. God bless y'all.
Although we're in here for horrible mistakes that we made when we were younger, there's a lot of guys out here that are just hurting. And there's a lot of guys in here that genuinely do want to change.
We know that we've done wrong in the past, but I tell you what, and we thank and praise God for where we're going, and we're going to do the best that we can.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this evening's broadcast of It Matters Radio. This is Monica Brinkman, and I'll be your host for this evening. And because this is our musical guest interview show, of course, sharing this with me is Carrie Hall. Hi, Carrie. How are you?
Hi, everybody. Nice to see everybody.
Yeah, Carrie, I am always get so excited about the guests that you bring to us, and I'm even more excited tonight because I've read a little bit about our guest, and I actually fell in love, with his concept, his music, everything. So, can you introduce us?
I am delighted to introduce everybody. This is Idalee. His music is kind of a combination of alternate pop with folk. His messages are very powerful. We'll get into the man behind the music. And he does some very interesting work and very helpful work with the prison population. And we'll get into a little bit of that. So welcome, Idalee. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, hello, Idalee.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. It's a pleasure to be with you.
I'm going to start with the beginning of your biography. It's right at the top, and I love it. And it is a little serious, but it was well said. And I quote, "After dropping out of college, setting up a music machine in Los Angeles, and then burning it to the ground, it took a while to get his head screwed back on, but it's on now." You want to talk a little bit about that? Great.
I
You said it all. I mean, I think that pretty much says it all. But sure. I mean, that describes, I was in Virginia with, my bandmates at the time, and we decided to go to Los Angeles and put it all on the line with the songs that we had instead of going to college. And, that tried and true story, right? And then once we got out there, we actually did get a little bit lucky. We ran into the right people. We ran into Carol Peters, who would be our manager. She's the manager for the band Heart. And John Mellencamp and several others of that era, and new people knew how to plug us in, and we got a shot. So we built this machine, with Geffen Records at the time. We had a demo deal with Geffen Records, a pretty big out there, and so built that machine, and consequently burned to the ground with the lifestyle that we chose to embrace, I guess, and that's a lifestyle, drugs, alcohol, and just the general bad decisions you make when you're surrounded by really powerful egos, and that rubs off on you, and your ego starts to be overinflated, and so it's just it disassembled. We disassembled it, and it's been a while since then, but I went back to Virginia and had a little turnaround point. And then, lately I've been doing a lot better. I'm active in kind of the rehabilitation community, I'll say, both with, mental and physical, and even, people that have screwed up bad enough to get in prison. And that's caused me to kind of be a more positive person these days. And that's what starting now, the EP and the songs on that EP.
It's a fabulous, powerful song. You had a life-changing event at the beginning of all this, where you got into a horrible accident. Can you talk a little bit about that and what it led you to?
Sure. Yeah. The accident was, coming back from a drug deal back in Virginia, because as I escaped Los Angeles. What they say, no geographic solution to a physical problem or to a mental problem, so I brought those demons back with me, and they eventually took me down. And at that night, after that deal, going back home, probably about 500 feet from my house, I crashed into a government vehicle. I don't remember it. Yeah.
A government vehicle of all things. Right?
Yeah, and put my head into the windshield and woke up in the hospital. But I haven't had a drink since then, obviously, or anything that goes along with drinking. But and that I attribute that, and I attribute that wake up call to a more positive outlook, and the realization that those crutches were keeping me down.
Right. So you're very big, and it's very important to you about second chances. And that led you to the prison population. Talk a little bit about your interaction and how the great song, by the way, people hope that we will play this, Heal, came about.
Yeah, I mean, it was serendipitous, me running into an organization called Prison Fellowship, which they do advocacy stuff, on Capitol Hill at the broadest level, and then, which is trying to reduce mandatory minimums and drug offenses and the kind of clogged system that we have. But then the part that got me was the in-prison kind of mentorship and being with people as they come out to try to set them up for success, since the recidivism rate, people that go back to prison is 2 out of 3.
Yeah, that's terrible, isn't it? Yeah.
And as I've spent time with the prison population, there's no mistake as to why. I mean, you go in bad and you come out worse a lot of times. And when you come out worse, you also have that mark that prohibits you from trying to get, a healthy lifestyle with a job and place to live and all that. But so, I ran into that. I started doing some intern work and some video work, which is another passion of mine, is video. And they've let me produce videos over the past few years, and I go in and I work with the guys and share some stories to try to humanize the population and get the broader narrative a little bit more sympathetic to people looking for second chances. I mean, I could have ended up there easily if there was somebody in that car, if I had the drugs on me, that drug deal actually went bad and I didn't have anything on me. All these kinds of things could have landed me in there very easily. So it was serendipitous, and it felt right to be working with that population. And it's a great work.
Yeah, Heal song is so powerful, Idalee. It's I can't describe it. It goes down very deep. And I love the song. And you produced a video with some prison inmates and did that song. So talk a little bit about that. And what did the song mean to you?
So there's a prison up in Muskegon, Michigan that I visited, where there's just a whole lot of talented musicians up there in that prison, and they were talking about how music had brought them back to their families and really done some magical things for them. And so after that, I began tinkering around with some songs to try to tell 2 stories, and one of the stories was the story of those guys and those inmates asking the question, that they're all really asking, is there ever a real heal point? Is there ever a restored back to society point? When do we heal? When is that actual second chance? And it's a question without an answer, really, for a lot of people. It's just kind of a yearning kind of question. And then my own story is wrapped in there too. Asking, the same kinds of questions, and when can I make good on that second chance? And so it's a blend of my work with prisoners and the questions I hear them ask and the sentiments that they have, and my own turnaround story. So
it's an amazing song. It's an amazing video. Now, did you release it, or maybe release it to the general public, because it's a message that needs to be seen?
There's still some things in the works for that. I had a kid recently, and she's awesome. And it slowed down my process a little bit.
Gee, imagine that.
Can you imagine?
I think they do, yeah. But we did do a release in one form, pretty much social release, kind of backed by Prison Fellowship, and I produced it with a Hollywood kind of reality TV producer. Worked on different TLC shows and stuff like that, so he was really helpful in the experience. But we're planning on attaching the video to some tours, not even just mine, but showing it at certain concert events for people who are kind of sympathetic to the cause, and showing it on the big screen and at least parts of it and things like that. But meeting with the guy September 14th, I think, to talk about further distribution. But That video was awesome to make. I mean, those guys are amazing in that video.
They just the interesting stories in that particular population that you work with. They actually memorized your song "Heal" backwards and forwards. To me, that's amazing that song. I mean, it's an impactful song, but that it impacted them, to me, was amazing. So when you went in there, were you maybe a little cautious or worried when you went in there, or did you know how great those guys were going to be?
I did. I had, nothing done with the Department of Corrections comes spur of the moment. So, I knew these guys. That I didn't know them personally. I didn't know any names, but I knew the population had the songs, and that they were working on it. And I got tidbits about it, and I think they asked me if they could change a couple of things at one point, and I was like, sure, go for it, And then when I showed up there, it's like you said, they knew it, and they knew these, 3-part harmonies that I hadn't even thought about, and it was an honor, and it was humbling, and it was it was crazy that they had learned it so well.
Yeah, I have to say that people that are listening, I want you to think in your life, there were probably things that you did, maybe you were a teenager, a young adult, even at your age now, that you could have gotten caught doing and gone to jail. It could be a minor thing or it could be a very major thing. So many of these people in the prison are there for the same type of thing that you probably did yourself, but you didn't get caught. And I'm not saying that it's okay to murder people or any of these things, or steal or rob or anything, but the prison system was set up to rehabilitate people, not to keep them down. It was to allow them to learn and go out into life and enrich society. I don't think that's happening so much anymore. And Idalee, I think that you're probably working in this organization is working to help. Because I know many people in prison are in there for things like, selling marijuana or getting caught with it. And they're put into the same cells as murderers and, people that are like crazy. And it just doesn't seem right to me to put them in a situation like that and then attempt to rehabilitate them when they're with some of these people that are probably could even kill them at any time. They have to yeah. I kind of don't understand that. I've thought about it many times and wondered why we didn't have a better placement of individuals in our prisons.
Yeah, I mean it's overcrowding. It's like you said, those little nickel and dimes offenses have overcrowded it and bloated it. And now we have private prisons, and they're not concerned. They're not concerned with who the neighbors are. So yeah, you're right, and that goes back to you going bad and you come out worse, typically.
Right, and it's sad because America probably has more people in prison than any other country.
We do. We have more than any other country. We have, I think, what is it? 3/4 of or we have 1/4 of the world's population and half the prisoners, or something like that. I should know that stat a little better, but it's staggering the amount. The ratio is just out of control for our population.
It is, and I kind of hate to bring politics into it, but I will anyway.
Go for it, Monica.
But they're doing it because of profit. It's not really out of care and concern. And this is what really bothers me. Our tax money is going into this just to invest into a prison system that we believe is to help these people and rehabilitate them and get them back into society. And it's not.
Yep, I agree.
The more they jam in, the more they bring in, the more they keep there, and the longer they keep them there, the more money they make.
And less chance for rehab once they're out. I mean, they say we're doing rehab, but
yeah, and that's totally political. And I think people need to, when they vote, look at how their candidates feel about these issues, and really vote the way that you should.
And yes.
People say that there for the grace of God go I. Well, it's true.
It's very true.
Okay.
So
I've
you
had
have a new CD, Idalee, out. It's called Starting Over. You want to show that to our wonderful viewer? Here we go. Starting Now. Sorry, Starting Now is the name of it. All right. That is such a cool song. Starting Now, probably, I mean, the whole album is very powerful, but I really like that. Talk a little bit about Starting Now. How do you do that?
Yeah. I mean, that's the question. I moved out to Phoenix area recently, and you can probably tell from my sunburn that I have on right now. But it's it was about a year ago actually that I moved out here, and just kind of moving to the desert and kind of it felt like square one, right? It felt like it's just kind of clean. It's all that. So those kind of influences, those natural influences around help shape that song, but where it comes from is that, that's the vibe of the album. That's where all these songs come from, is that place of the second chance. And, it's starting over, right? I mean, that's just such a powerful idea. And one I'm, infatuated with. And it's the clean slate is something that nobody really gets, but it's this kind of driving, it's this influence. It's this thing that you want, and so for me, it's a cleansing song. It's the best I can do to start over is that song, and I think that comes through the lyrics and kind of the general feel of it.
Well, it's a fabulous CD. I
Beautiful.
love every song.
In Arizona, we're gonna have to tell Ken about that, Carrie.
Yes.
By the way, Idalee, this is Punky, our radio cat. She always shows up. So I'm sorry she's tried to take the spotlight, but she does it all the time. So.
She loves music, and she's always seems to appear when we have great music. So Idalee, you should be complimented. There are so many amazing songs. I wanted to talk a little bit about one song in particular, Fury. Let's talk about that because it's a unique song and it makes you really think. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, Fury's an interesting one. I think, it has a different vibe to it. But the sense there is that I have, a certain amount of friends, right? And everybody does, who's built the life for themselves. Everybody's got a certain amount of friends. And it's very easy to walk lockstep with what your friends are doing, and not even in that little peer pressure, young kind of way, but just the ideas that you surround yourself with, which is somehow self-affirming after a while, is dangerous sometimes. So the key line in that song is some people follow and some people fury, is the fact that follow is easy, and when you stop and when you do kind of think something different than where you've been all your life and the construct you've built around you, it gets dirty for a while. It gets a little bit crazy, and that fury comes. And so that's I've heard a lot of different takes on what that song means since I've started tossing it around. And to some, it's a feel-good song, and that's just that, and that's cool too. But that's kind of where my head was at on that one.
That's great. Well, Carrie, I think we need to take a little break right now and listen to a couple songs, and then we'll be right back and chat a little bit more with Idalee. So, folks, you're in for a treat. Here you go.
It's a dark night lighting up. It's a dark night lighting up. Starting now. All I can see is what's in front of me. The past is the past. I'm sure ready to leave. I will start over. Yes, I will start over. Hiding in time warps and feeling like I'm there. Nostalgia cruising and memories to spare. I will start over. Yes, I will start over. We were all younger, once for stories we believed were only for us. They were our possibilities. Yes, they were. Kleenex and weather therapy. I will start over, yes, I will start over. If I had a wish, your trouble vanish in the air. But I have a list and I still have some to spare. I will start over, yes, I will start over. We were all younger, once the stories we believed were only for us, they were our possibilities, yes they were.
I'm here in the studio putting the finishing touches on the album, and I gotta tell you about this song called Heal. I had the amazing opportunity, thanks to an organization called Prison Fellowship, to bring this song Heal into prison and perform it with prisoners.
And it's really cool. The song's about these guys, and it's cool to do it here.
My name is Thomas Slusher, currently serving a life sentence for murder.
You're in the city, right?
At this point, I've got almost 28 years done in the system.
My name is Robert. I've been incarcerated for aggravated robbery, a 30-year sentence. I've done 19 years.
My name is CJ. I'm incarcerated for 4 years as aggravated 4-year sentence or assault with a deadly weapon.
My name is James Covington. I've been incarcerated for about 18 years. I shot and killed a man in 1997, stole some drugs from me. I was selling marijuana at the time.
Nice to meet you, man. Hey, man. Good. Tommy. Nice to meet you, man. Nice glasses, man. I like those. Well, so my whole thing is, you know, I woke up in a hospital arrested, and I put my head through a windshield because of drugs and alcohol back in the day, and I really messed up bad. Finally, you know, when I woke up in that hospital, I was like, next time I'm dead. And I got a second chance. I'm trying to make good on that second chance. And that's why I see you guys at Prison Fellowship stuff talking about, you know, really making good on that second chance. That second chance, man, it's like, that's what the theme of my life is, you know?
This is your song. This is a blessing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get your autograph.
Yeah.
Okay, when the guys come in, we're gonna open up with your song.
We got a new friend. Let's give him a welcome.
This is called Heal.
We wonder where we went wrong. Everything started out fine. We felt on fire, we felt strong. The path that we made took us away from the flame, and our new ID is a debt that can't be repaid. Maybe we're all out of ideas. Maybe all the futures we had belong in files in a dusty room. Are we meant to create them and then never update them? Out of sight, out of mind is all hope now left behind. All eyes are on me now. I'll be in the system till it spits me out. Press and release again. One day out and the next day haven't figured this out. And I've been at the bottom, I'm still a work in progress. There's still lots to fight about, but I was allowed a second chance in the crowd, and I feel like I owe my life to working this out. Lately I've been thinking this through. Maybe there is more we can do to move the needle on the issue. There are victims in pain and families at stake. The system is built on choices that we all make. All eyes are on me now. I'll be in the system till it spits me out. Press and release again. One day out and the next day. When do we heal? When do we fight for people that fall? When do we heal? When do we fight for people that fall? When do we heal? Do we press and release again?
When do we heal? You know, when do we fight for the people that fall? I'm a person that has fallen. It is tough to heal.
The song we did today, Heal.
It's a song that really touched us.
It brought me face to face with my guilt, with my true, I guess, depravity. And I shot and killed a man he's somebody's child, somebody's baby, and a child of God. So I'm just recounting the changes that I've been through. I haven't really dealt with a lot of issues that had to do with genuine remorse.
We're looking at the words of this song and how powerful it was.
Thank God for it. Thank God for the people who had the wisdom to put programs like that in place in an environment like this. Without it, there's a lot of us that wouldn't have made it.
All eyes are on me now. I'll be in the system till it spits me out. Press and release again. One day out and the next day. When do we heal? When do we fight for people that fall? When do we heal? When do we fight for people that fall? When do we heal? When do we fight for people that fall? When do we heal? Do we press and release again?
All eyes are on me now. I'll be in the system until it spits me out. Press and release again. One day out, the next day in.
My name is Aaron Charles. I just completed 11 years of a 15-year sentence, and I am here for aggravated robbery. When I heard that song today, it just resonated down in my spirit that sometimes your spirit has to be healed and your soul has to be healed, and that physical part is going to come later.
The last 10 or 15 years where I've been denied parole repeatedly, where I had kind of lost my way. I was angry, disappointed. There's no possible way that I could be anywhere near where I'm at now without the healing power of music. I don't believe it.
I consider myself healed in a lot of ways. There's still areas in my life where I need to be healed.
But it's been good, and I've had a good experience here, and so I'm ready to get out. I think I'm ready to go.
And I see parole in April 2016, so hopefully that's when I'll be released.
I'll be going home in March 2016.
At this point, I've got almost 28 years done in the system. On my way to the free world, I've been granted parole.
Should leave in November. God willing, I'll go. In November, maybe around mid-November. So I'm ready to go.
Well, Idalee, again, I have to say, those are two of my favorite songs off your CD. What does Idalee mean? I love that name, by the way.
It's it's hard to say for some people, and some people are I've heard Italy and Idalee, and that's okay. I'm not worried about that. It's a simple explanation though. It's when I told you that we kind of hatched a plan to move out to Los Angeles and to give it all a shot.
Mm-hmm.
That was at our boyhood park called Idalee, and that's where it all took place. Now that Idalee is spelled, with two separate words, and I think it's after some people in the Civil War. Now that I think about it, but to me, it's one word, and it's just it's a thought, and it's an emblem, and that's what I've chosen to kind of encapsulate.
Right. Well, it's a fabulous album. So we're gonna push you ahead 3 or 4 years. Where would you like to see you, and where would you like to see your music?
So, like I said, I have a beautiful girl, Eloise, who was just born, and in all her beauty, she is also demanding, and so that put a pause. We released this a little bit. We released this earlier this year, and the summer has been that kind of pause that I've had, and kind of a little bit of reflection on where I want to go. I'll be playing in prisons for sure, and I'll be playing different acoustic sets from I would say 100 capacity kind of places in the near term, but the as sellout as it may sound, I want to be able to sustain myself a little bit. So I'm looking at I have a buddy of mine that has just a company in LA that's trying to help me with licensing, and some of these songs might be a nice overture in film and movie or TV.
Oh, yeah.
So he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's got a hunger, and he's been working for a licensing outfit for going on a decade now, and he's pumped about the songs too. So we're in the process of kind of cataloging and shooting them out with the help of our publicist, and seeing what we can do to try to make another album soon, because they're not cheap to make, and people buy music, but and sales are good. People have bought this album, but in order to stay sustainable, gotta get that song into some. I don't even know what kind of shows. I'd love to see it on some film, but we'll see.
Well, again, it's very fabulous. So where can we find your music? Speaking of your music, I know you have a website. You are on Reverb Nation and Facebook. Why don't you say where else we can find your music?
Yeah, I mean, I have them. You can stream them on SoundCloud too. So it's I'm not, like I said, trying to make everyone purchase to hear the songs. I just want them to be heard. So I mean, SoundCloud will stream them for you. Facebook's big, and the website. The website's where you can kind of keep up to date with what's going on. There's going to be some cool stuff on Facebook as fall starts to ramp up with some more in prison stuff. And I'm actually going to San Quentin pretty soon. Yeah, I'm going to San Quentin on September 8th as part of a project, and we'll see what happens there. I think we all know Johnny Cash has a history there.
Yes, I was just going to say that, Idalee. Yes, so that'd be a perfect place.
You know what I would love, though? Are you going to be visiting any of the prisons around the holidays at all?
We do. We did. The Prison Fellowship does a service that connects fathers and mothers with their kids around Christmas time through gift giving and stuff. So I've been around in prison, but not inside close to Christmas yet. But it's an idea.
The other reason I was asking is we have special holiday shows. We have a Halloween one, and then we normally have like a holiday one, and we call it holiday because we want any type of religion to be able to submit music or stories or whatever to it. But I just thought, gosh, how exciting it would be to get a group of prisoners together to celebrate a holiday. And have it on video I just think it would be marvelous. People could see another side of it. So if you ever do that, let us know. Okay.
I will. It's likely to happen. I mean, I've seen video of guys celebrating different holidays in prison, not on prison, or not on Christmas or on Hanukkah or any holiday, but around there. I mean, everything kind of gets tighter right around the holidays, but they do. I mean, they're humans just like everybody else. They party it up as much as they can, We actually have a few guys together singing some carols, so it does happen.
Yeah, and I bet you've seen some great talent there.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a rapper in the prison we went to in Houston area to film Heal. We're going to release a lot of B-roll that's associated with that film, and you'll meet this guy in more depth and listen to some of his music. He's in there in the computer lab when he can get access, crafting some beats that really rival commercial stuff. So I mean, it was crazy to hear that.
It's amazing, huh? Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much, Idalee, for joining us. I just have one other quick question. It's very casual. Do you have any pets?
I could bring them both in here. I'm not sure where they are right now. They're meandering around there. I have 2 small dogs.
All right.
I have 2 dogs too. So.
And 3 cats? Is it 3 cats, Monica?
No cats.
I have
5 cats.
Yeah.
You got 5 cats?
Yeah, and 2 dogs. So
I'm a pet lover, though. I don't have any cats, but I'm a pet lover for sure. I got Cleo and Consuela are my animals, and they're awesome.
Oh, I love it. I love I love the names. I wanted to ask you something, and I know this might be very difficult because you have been to so many different places and met so many different people from all walks of life. So, has there been any one moment that stands out as something that you'll never forget? And it could be through when you were performing or when you were something that's happened in your life.
Yeah, I can single something out. I mean, Carol Peters is this bigger than life woman out there in Topanga Canyon area in Los Angeles, and when I met her, and let me back up, my bassist and I were playing a duo version, stripped down version of our songs at this open mic that we just happened to get into at Genghis Cohen. It's a Chinese food restaurant on right there in Hollywood, and right outside of it, after we were done, I think having a smoke break, Carol approached us and said, "I've been in the music for this many decades, and you guys have knocked me on my keister."
Wow.
And I've never ever heard somebody use keister in plain talk like that. I think ever or since. And but that signaled this snowball, and it's the reason I'm still making music in a semi-professional way today. Is that kind of validation that I got there, and the fact that someone that incredible with heart and John Mellencamp and just an ear for songs liked my stuff, and so that was etched in my brain in a pretty transformative moment.
So even through all that was in the back of your head. It probably helped you a lot. Words from someone like her. Yeah,
Carol. Yeah, her words have echoed through the rest of my life so far. Yeah.
See the wonderful gift that she gave you. I think that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Your little girl. What was her name again?
Eloise.
Eloise. How old is she?
She just turned 9 months.
Oh gosh. Now, is she one of those babies that wakes up all the time, or is she one that sleeps?
She's given us trouble lately, yeah. So, I'm a little bit more tired than usual, but she's a good baby. She's a good baby. She knows how to clap her hands now, so she's obviously.
Oh, hey! Cool. You got a musician in the family there, Idalee.
I've been serenading her at an early age and letting her pick at the guitar, so she's.
Hey, do it.
I'm not pressuring her, but I'm pressuring her.
No.
Hey, she'll just pick it up naturally because you're there with her.
It's a
So,
good outlet.
yeah, that's wonderful.
Oh my goodness.
Now I know you're. People can find out what you're going to be doing on your website, right? If you're going to be having any,
Yeah,
where you're going
it's
to be
getting a,
playing.
yeah, it's getting a redo here. Somebody else is working on it right now. It's about to go up with a little facelift and then all the information there on one page. So it's going to be a cool website. But yeah, idalee.com. Yep.
Idalee.com, simple.
Yeah, and I think people want, you've already heard two songs, and you're going to hear some more after we're done chatting here. And I always say this, if you have watched the show and you loved the music and you love the person that we have as a guest, it's yeah, it's nice to download a free, video or MP3 or anything, but I really think that what you need to do is take that little bit of money that it costs anymore and purchase something because um, we would be, what would our life be without music? I don't even know if it would be worth living without
Mm-mm.
music, to tell you the
Nope.
truth. And you don't know the expense that these very talented artists such as Idalee go through, what they have to put out of their pocket. And even if they're selling a lot of LPs or a lot of CDs, that's just going right back into the next project. And they need all our support. And the way to support them is to purchase things. And it's also to share them with other people. Uh,
Absolutely.
that's the best
Absolutely.
gift that you could give them. You know, I write books, but I cannot imagine having the expense and such that these musicians have. And I'm just happy that they have such a love for it that they keep going.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, you have to agree with me, right?
I absolutely have to. Yeah.
That it.
Idalee, your music, again, I know I've been saying this, but I'm just so blown away by what you've created. You should be very proud and very proud of the work that you do with the prisoners. We want to wish you the best of luck. Now, we have a radio show Monday through Fridays, Euro Indie Music. We have a special show on Sundays. We also have Top 10 music on Saturdays.
Okay, but we don't need to talk about that right now, though.
But I just wanted to mention it so that that we want everyone to listen to Idalee, share his music, and support him because he is fabulous. That's really what I should have said.
Right, which has nothing to do with our other shows. I mean,
No, just mentioning it.
Well, I'm going to be doing my part to share this too. It was a real pleasure talking to you guys, and I know I'm going to share this with my network too.
And are you still involved with the organizations for the prisons?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What if someone listening to this said, I'd really like to do something, but I don't know where to go? Is there information that you could share with them? Is it on your website or?
There it is. There's a pretty direct link to Prison Fellowship on my website. They do a lot of good work. So if you want to check it out there.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good thing for people to do. But most of all, please share Idalee's talent with other people.
Yes.
That's why we have people on this show. And I know you've got a little girl to get back to.
Well, I appreciate this, guys. This has been a good conversation. It's kind of helped me kind of feel a little better after this. So I like that a lot. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Oh, well,
thank you, Idalee, and keep in touch. And when you do get ready to release a new song or anything, drop us a line. Our website, www.itmattersradio.com, or you can reach out to Carrie or I, because Punky, our kitty cat who you met, puts out a monthly newsletter. It's called From the Litter Box. And she lets people know what our former guests have been up to. So drop us a line and we'll be glad to share it with you.
I appreciate that. Well, thank you guys very much. It's been a pleasure.
Same here.
Yes, it's been a pleasure for us too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Oh, Carrie, he's just wonderful.
He is. He's really great.
I wanted to tell everybody, you were mentioning the shows. I have a little bit of exciting news to tell people. Gosh, we just been meeting many, 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 many people. And it's been fabulous because uh, we are now going to be presenting every Thursday a show that features indie artists. Now, these are up and coming, and they're fabulous indie artists. And they come to us from a, believe it or not, a magazine. It's called Ion Indie Magazine. And what they do is they feature several bands or singers or whoever in their issues each month, and then they share those people with us and send us their music, and then we in turn are sharing that with other people. So these are the top upcoming people, and I encourage anyone to also visit their website, which is ionindiemagazine.com. And you can take a little peek at their current issue. If there's any artists that would like to get in contact with them, they can do that also. And then we have on Saturday nights the World Music Stage music, more indie music, but this is the top 10 each week. And they have a lot of rock music, a lot of country music, kind of jazz, soul music. It is international, but a lot of the artists sing in English. Actually, almost all of them do. Once in a while, you might get one song that's not. And then, Carrie, as you were saying, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we have our Euro indie shows. Now, these shows are great because they are absolutely international, right?
Yes, absolutely. We get music all the way from Japan. I
Yeah.
mean, that's it's just
Yeah.
amazing.
I mean, it's a variety. What I like about it is it's not just you're not going to just hear things in English, and open your minds a little bit and listen because there's some outstanding musicians who
Oh
happen to
yeah.
sing their music in a different language. But it's a good mix because there's English,
Mhm.
there's Italian, there's French, like you said, there's Japanese, there's Spanish, there's all kinds of music, and there's all genres. There's rap and country
Right.
and rock and pop and folk, almost anything you can think of. So, and what's so special about those shoes? What did they get to do when they watch those Monday, Tuesday, and
Oh
Wednesday?
my goodness, you get to vote.
Yeah.
It the music is picked by our by the viewers and by people that go to. Can we say the website where they can go to
Oh,
vote? If
sure,
you want to,
sure.
it's www.euroindiemusic.net. There's what over 500 songs there, Monica, that they
Yeah.
can choose
Now they
from.
can't do all 500 songs in
No,
one,
no,
in one week, but they give you a nice sampling. And there's new songs every week. Also, there's new artists every week, and it's gonna if you like something, the only way it's gonna get to the top is if you take the time to vote for it. So we hope you'll do that. And
right.
also, World Music Stage does the same thing, except you don't really vote. What you do is you go to their site, which is worldmusicstage.com, and you like artists, or you might download one of their songs. So the ones that get the most attention on their site are the ones that make it in the top 10, which we play on Saturday.
Hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Now you have a special show Thursday coming up.
That's what I was talking about.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
It's that's why I was saying every Thursday we're gonna have
Every Thursday. Okay.
it's from Ion Indie Magazine, and guys, you're
Right.
gonna love it. We're
Mhm.
featuring three singers, and particularly one that you're gonna just love. And I'm not gonna give it away yet,
No.
but it's great music, and I hope you'll join us and you'll listen to it and share it with other people also. And I thought, please check out Idalee's page. He's
Oh,
a wonderful person. He's been through so much in life, and instead of being negative and going downhill about it, he's turned it around and made it positive, not just for himself, but for so
but
many
for
other
so
people.
many others.
Yeah, and that's what we need in life. So, with that said, why don't we cut this short and say goodnight? and let people listen to a couple more bits of music from Idalee.
Absolutely.
Okay, Carrie. Bye-bye for now. Take care.
Bye-bye.
The fog it will lift out of the city it kissed. The sun will flow into windows like glue. And after the fight, we'll turn our wrongs into rights. I'll grow my roots right here with you. You and me rise right above the water, like some kind of love has made our tops much taller. Well, I can't complain, feels like my tree got rain. Tree got rain, yeah, I can't complain, feels like my tree got rain. Tree got rain, in the wilderness I find I lost my pain. Lost my pain, yeah, I can't complain, feels like my tree got rain. Rainbow in the muddy water. Rainbow in the muddy water. I was searching for signs and counting stars in the night. I'm on to something or out of my mind. You fell into me and brought me out of my sleep. It's a dream that I just won't keep. You and me rise right above the water, like some kind of love has made our tops much taller. Well, I can't complain, feels like my tree got rain. Tree got rain, yeah, I can't complain, feels like my tree got rain. Tree got rain, in the wilderness I find I lost my pain. Lost my pain, yeah, I can't complain, feels like my tree got rain. Rainbow in the muddy water. Rainbow in the muddy water. I'll grow my roots right here with you. You and me rise right above the water, like some kind of love has made our tops much taller. Well, I can't complain, feels like my tree got rain. Tree got rain, yeah, I can't complain, feels like my tree got rain. Tree got rain, in the wilderness I find I lost my pain. Lost my pain, yeah, I can't complain, feels like my tree got rain. Tree got rain. Rainbow in the muddy water. Rainbow in the muddy water. If everyone is doing the same thing together, how do we get better? How do we win? All the cool kids want something for nothing, wanna stand for something but better fit in. I don't belong on this road full of social animals. But what if everyone is wrong? You knew all along. We'll sing a different song, they will sing along. You are the judge, yeah, you are the jury. Some people follow and some people fury. Fury, no, we don't follow. No, fury, no, we don't follow. Walking in shoes meant for somebody taller, for somebody calmer, for somebody loose. I've prepared, I've been there and all that nothing's fine. finally one thing is making me care. I don't belong on this road full of social animals. What if everyone is wrong? You knew all along. We'll sing a different song, they will sing along. You are the judge, yeah, you are the jury. Some people follow and some people fury. What if everyone is wrong? You knew all along. We'll sing a different song, they will sing along. You are the judge, yeah, you are the jury. Some people follow and some people fury. Fury, no, we don't follow. Oh, fury, no, we don't follow. What if everyone is wrong? You knew all along. And we'll sing a different song, they will sing along. They'll sing along. What if everyone is wrong? You knew all along. We'll sing a different song, they will sing along. They'll sing along. What if everyone is wrong? You knew all along. We'll sing a different song, they will sing along. You are the judge, yeah, you are the jury. Some people follow, some people fury. What if everyone is wrong? You knew all along. We'll sing a different song, they will sing along. You are the judge, yeah, you are the jury. Some people follow, some people fury.